Hey kids, and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 3. Last episode, the Soviet Union finally declared, or Germany finally declared war on the Soviet Union. And so Germany is now fighting a war on two fronts, and that is the conditions that we need to go on the offensive. So we are going to invade Italy this episode. I'm going to set up some goals in terms of what I want to accomplish in that invasion. Before we dive right into that, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. I made a couple of HQs here, army HQs for these garrisons to just kind of clean up the order of battle. I also reorganized the Eastern Fleet into two carrier squadrons here. I'll rename them after, and I gave them our two best admirals for the time being. So Cunningham and Somerville, which will be really good against the Japanese. We also have a third carrier group in the queue here, as well as a bunch of more modern light cruisers that will fill out that fleet, and we will be more than ready for the Japanese when they attack. And that's really important because that should happen. Usually, it'll happen in December 41, right? So that's just a few short months away. We have an invite to faction offer from Mexico. They will not accept. Mexico will not join the Allies until the United States joins the Allies. Where are they? Mexico. It says impossible. Yeah, they won't. They will not join the Allies until the United States does. That's just how it works. I think it's hard-coded. Everything else, we're ready to go. The Italian fleet is basically non-existent, so we will be able to invade. We will be able to invade Italy completely unmolested. There's a couple things I want to do here. I want to take one of these, probably two battle fleets actually. We'll take. Why don't we just take the fourth? Oh, what are you doing down there? And the fifth. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that because they're way in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to take that one and this one, and I'm going to detach them, and I'm going to attach them to Army Group Italy, because we're going to use those two fleets for shore bombardment to accompany the invasion. And a couple of other things. You'll notice I've put these multi-rolls to the top of the queue. We need multi-rolls for the Pacific. That's really important to defend our ports. We also need multi-rolls to this interceptor squadron here. I'm going to attach to Army Group Italy, and it is going to follow the army, and it's going to be the army air defense basically, so that we don't get bombed to shit during our march up the boot. And so we're going to need to replace the air group in Malta, so that it can cover off the central Mediterranean, because we need to protect both our shipping and our armies. So without further ado, we've got a landing craft squadron there. We're going to need to move this transport squadron to this there, where the entire, you know what, we'll go pick up the army group, which is there. And yeah, I think we're pretty much ready to go here. We've got transport planes ready as well. So let's take the Gurkha Corps. You know what, we're going to hold off on the Gurkha Corps. We are going to use the Marine Corps for our initial invasion. We're going to do this in two steps. I'll open up a battle plan just for fun. Just call it Invasion of Italy. Don't really need this, but might as well kind of show off the feature a bit. There's two places that we are going to do landings, and it's going to be one after the other. So first of all, we're going to do a landing near Messina, because we want to block the Strait of Messina, right? And we're going to have shore bombardment as well, blocking the strait. You can rotate these, but I can't remember what key does it. We are then going to move quickly to secure the island of Sicily. As I mentioned in a previous video, you can exploit the AI by holding Messina, and the AI will send a huge part of their army down here and attempt this crossing, and you can block them there, and they will pour like 200,000 manpower into trying to cross that strait. I consider that a bit of an exploit. It's certainly fun. It's certainly hilarious to destroy the Axis by, you know, at Messina basically, but I don't think it's going to be all that interesting to, you know, to watch. I want to have a little bit more of a long drawn out campaign here. I don't want to just beat them by exploiting a strait. So as soon as we've secured Sicily, we are going to do another landing, and this landing is going to have to be a lot faster and more nimble, and so that landing is going to be near Taranto essentially. And we're also going to do an air landing. If I open the map here, I'm going to do an air landing in one of these provinces here, probably this one. And that will allow us to establish a front, a beachhead in southern Italy, and it will also encircle any Italian forces that have come down here to try and secure the Strait of Messina. So these Gurkhas are going to be moving down here and securing that port, and the marine landing will be essentially trying to grab this Taranto, trying to grab that port. Taranto is going to be our main supply port for the entire operation. Now, once we invade, once we've got our beachhead, we need to establish a front that we can hold. This is not a good area to establish a front. Why? Because we've got all these plains provinces, and if what will happen as soon as we start sending troops into Italy, not only will we face the entire Italian army, but Germany will also start to send troops down as well. And we even though Germany is busy up on the Eastern Front here, we do not want to be facing a huge portion of the Wehrmacht at this early stage. We don't want to have to send. I've got an army, basically 4 corps that I want to be keeping in Italy. Right now I've got 6 corps because I've got the Marine Corps and the Gurkha Corps, but I don't want the Gurkha Corps and the Marine Corps to be kind of stuck here. I want to use them for what they're best at, which is these air landings and marine invasions. So I want to move them to other theaters and other areas, or use them elsewhere in this theater. I want to be able to hold a line with 4 corps, 3 of which only have 4 divisions in them. Those are my infantry corps. So the best place for us to do that is where there's very few provinces that we have to hold. So I think this is the best line right here. This line. I think that's the most. I think that's the most secure line that we can hold. I don't think there's much point in going further up in Italy. As you can see, it gets wider here. We've got 5 provinces to hold. There's also a lot of really rocky terrain here, so it'll be slow going. I would much rather hold off. If I were to try and defeat Italy, I would have to deploy more of an army, because once we get up here, we'll have 2 fronts to defend, or at the very least 1 front here, which is a wider front. And if I have to send more army here, I'm not going to be able to build an army to invade there. And I don't think, if you look at the terrain here, this terrain is not conducive to invading Germany directly. So even if Germany is starting to falter on the Eastern Front, I would much rather sweep across the open plains of France and the lowlands, and the relatively open plains of Germany than through the Swiss Alps. So the goal of this campaign here is to completely neutralize Italy, by taking away a lot of their ports and air bases in the central Mediterranean, and also to open up a second front and to siphon off some more German troops. We may at a later point try and stage some kind of encirclement here to really break the southern forces of Germany, but I'm only going to want to do that once we've actually established a similar line somewhere in northwestern Europe, and that's going to be happening probably in a couple years, maybe in 43 or 44. maybe earlier, depends on how fast we can build up an army. However, that's the plan. Let's do it. Let's not wait any longer, and let's just do it. I just wanted to check and see if I had anything that I wanted to send. No. All right, so we're ready to go. I want to go back to our Army Group Italy, which is here. Let's get rid of these. Army Group Italy. And I'm going to send the 1st Battle Fleet here. The 6th Battle Fleet can go there. The Royal Marine Corps is going to go into that landing craft squadron, and we're going to move it there. Okay, now I've got air coverage there. I'm going to go to speed 4. Okay, the Tactical Air Force is attached. Let's go. It's going to happen quickly, guys. It's going to happen very quickly. So the USA is will accept. We can get the USA to join. I think because I spammed all those trades early on with the USA. I'm going to rename that. And we're going to be, as soon as we've got the thirds multi-roll, I'll send it down. Oh, let me just check a couple things quickly here. We need this. We need something like this. And we need that. Okay. Everything else is fine. Yeah, as soon as we have the third there, we'll send it down here, and we'll be able to deploy our interceptors probably at one of these bases here. I'm not going to use the Gurkhas for the first stage of this invasion. Yeah, I'm not going to get America to join the war because I want Pearl Harbor to happen, basically. That's the gist of it. I'm just going to go full frontal attack here. This is not something you normally do when you are doing an amphibious invasion, but because Italy is so weak, we can just like rush the beaches, basically, even though the terrain is shitty and all that. This province we might have a little bit of difficulty, but we're gonna go for it. Let's take Tactical Air Force and do interdiction. We can put them on passive, and let's go. Naval strike Western Aegean. Yes, yes, yes. We are going to get hit with naval strikes. Although very quickly we can see that we are winning. We are winning these. Well, no, we're not even fighting yet. So shouldn't have much difficulty. Yeah, they're just melting like butter. Okay, there's another thing I need to do here. We are getting about 90 IC from American lend-lease. So if you look at Germany, yeah, there's their IC, 338. We have more IC than Germany, 374 versus 338. We got more IC. They still have more manpower though. Although if you look, our manpower is very quickly catching up. We will exceed Germany's manpower shortly because we have the whole British Empire. So that's the thing about Britain. If you can keep your overseas territories, you'll have more manpower than the Germans unless they conquer the Soviet Union, basically. And we're getting a huge amount of lend-lease from the United States. Now, this is obviously the U.S. still has a lot of their own IC to build stuff, but to be honest, AIUS really sucks at everything. And so I would much rather take their IC and, me as a player use it. Right, though, but I actually need to use the IC. So it's time to start working on Army Group France. It's going to take a long time to build because our practicals are not super good. But if we look at this Army Group here, we're missing those two are in construction. Superior firepower is going to be done very shortly. We're going to start by building we're going to do five brigade divisions for this entire army. I'm going to start by doing 5 brigades of tank destroyer because we're not building heavy armor, so having some tank destroyer will help help us when we inevitably encounter the German heavy armor. We are going to start by, we are going to also do for this one we need 5 SP Art. I think there's 2 more divisions that need SP Art actually, so we'll put 7 right away. And we also need 2 armored cars. I'll be putting some new divisions in the queue very shortly, but I want to wait until superior firepower actually finishes, which is going to be on May 30th. I'll wait until superior firepower actually finishes before we put those in the queue. Because for fighting in France, we're gonna be using the 5 brigade divisions. We're not gonna worry about the army, this first army in Italy, because it's just not worth it to send everything back to England to build all those brigades and then send them back. So we're gonna invade with the smaller division types. We're also working in rougher terrain, so having the extra brigades is just gonna be a little bit inefficient in terms of fuel and supplies and all that. How are we doing here? They are fucked. Royally fucked. I can't tell if someone should be landing there. Yep, they are. Spearhead Doctrine, that's excellent. It's really good that those doctrine techs are completing just as we do this invasion. What's going on here? I do not see the battle marker. Okay. Sian King is in the common turn. Big deal. Alright, this is not a very complicated campaign here. We're simply going to march. Oh wait, we need to leave. We need to leave 1 division here. It'll take them a while to get anything down here, so we should have time to cover off the entire island of Sicily before they actually arrive. I guess we'll take this guy, and we'll go here, here, here. Okay, this guy can go here, here, here. This guy can go here, here. And then we'll go like this. Well, I don't need to micromanage that. I'll just issue all those orders. Make sure we take every province, and make sure we leave someone defending there. We will be leaving the first battle fleet to guard the strait, and that will mean that any army that tries to cross that strait will get absolutely demolished. Let's send the landing craft squadron back to Tripoli so that it doesn't get bombed. Probably should not be leaving this battle fleet there. We'll see if it starts getting... Yeah, it's getting bombed. Okay, let's send it down here, out of the way. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to invite America into the Allies. I want them to join in the historical way. We've done some ahistorical things like defending Norway and well, you know, building a bunch of aircraft carriers and you know, just generally doing a better job at planning the British defense. I mean, obviously I'm not trying to simulate history. If I wanted to simulate history, I'd play Black Ice, which I will. I hope to do a Black Ice Let's Play at some point on this channel. To be perfectly honest, I'm just not comfortable enough in it. There's just so much going on, and I've spent a fair amount of time playing Black Ice, but there's just so many unknowns for me in Black Ice that it would be a somewhat blind Let's Play, and maybe that would be fun too. But you know, I want to think about what country I want to play, and you know, at some point, I know there's going to be some Black Ice on this channel at some point, I think. Alright, these guys are going to go to Malta, and I'm going to attach them to the Mediterranean Theater. Okay. These guys are doing okay. We don't have an airbase we can use yet. This airbase is probably... Okay, good. There's 8 units there. Good. Sweet. Now, before we can do the next invasion, we need these Marines to finish the task at hand. hopefully, the other thing too is we want to be we do want to be a little bit careful about you know, the orders we issue, because we certainly don't want them, like here for example. It'd be better to attack across the river from 2 angles. We haven't finished Grand Battle Plan yet. Okay, it'll finish on June the 3rd. That's really important because you can see how bad it is to not have the Grand Battle Plan gives you 5% reinforcement chance. You can see how bad it is to not have that. Like this division is fighting alone while it waits for these ones to reinforce, and the reinforcement chance. This is an hourly reinforcement chance. It's every hour. There's a 0.7% chance, so it's going to take a lot more hours before before the unit actually joins combat. However, it's not going to make a big difference because we're fighting Italy. We will be fighting Germany soon, though. As soon as we start fucking around in the south of Italy, and Germany will send, they'll send the heavy guns real fast. Especially, like, I haven't waited, you know, the safest way to do this is Britain is to wait until they are totally fucked in the Eastern Front before you do this. I want to be more aggressive. I want to establish this front, and most of all, I want to free up these forces so that they can be used in other areas, especially these what the fuck? Oh, that's an air battle, okay. Especially so that we can use the sort of specialized marine forces, and you know, I don't want to be fighting land battles with forces that are you know, really good at amphibious invasion. Yeah, Kaiser Wilhelm is dead. There was a Netflix movie. Maybe Netflix, or anyway, there was a movie recently about the end of Kaiser Wilhelm II's life. I'm trying to remember what the name of that movie is. But yeah, about the Nazis. You know, he was in exile in the Netherlands, I guess, and when the Nazis invaded the Netherlands, they essentially kind of kept tabs on him. I think that they were ultimately they didn't. There was no room in Hitler's Germany for a king. Let's put it that way. But he was to some degree a popular figure, and so I think they were to some degree, you know, kind of keeping tabs on him and making sure that he, you know. Anyway, it's interesting. Watch the movie. I shouldn't just ramble on about it. Watch the movie. I'll try and remember the title. If you just search movie about Kaiser Wilhelm II or something, then I'm sure you'll find it. It was fun anyway. It was a fun movie to watch. Rare materials for money. Yeah, whatever. God, trade has not been. We have just not had a resource shortage in this campaign at all. We're burning through a lot of crude, but I mean, we've almost maxed out our fuel. Okay, superior firepower did pop off there. I'll deal with this later. So as a result, I am going to prepare a couple divisions. So we needed 1 motorized division. Our motorized divisions, as you will have surmised, are going to look like this: 3 motorized, 1 armored car, 1 SBR. I don't like to give tank destroyers to motorized divisions because it just gives them a further terrain penalty. Motorized divisions already have a terrain penalty, but if we give them more hit, like the tank destroyer has a bad terrain penalty. The armored car is going to negate a little bit of their terrain penalty. The SP art will ultimately increase it a bit, I think. But I like this mix. I like this mix for motorized. You can also use, oh, where is it? The motorized AA. Motorized AA is a very fast division, so this is like a lightning speed division. But I find that we're going to need We need the firepower. We need the firepower. We are going to do an entirely motorized invasion of Northwest Europe. And the reason I'm doing a motorized invasion of Northwest Europe, by the way, is because I want to beat the Soviets. I want to, once Germany starts to really fall apart, I want to take as much land as possible. So I want to build a full armored core, another armored core, basically. So that's what our armored core looks like. SP Art armored car tank destroyer. This is what I would call a combined arms division. There are 5 different types of brigade in there that give us the maximum combined arms. You can do things like, well, not like that. You can do things like, you know, you can add an extra armor and then give your SP Art and your tank destroyer or whatever. You can also add another motorized, and you can do all sorts of mix like this. I don't like to have more than one motorized division, and a brigade, sorry, in the division. I want to have the least frontage as possible. And I also just I don't, their armor and motorized are expensive in terms of manpower and fuel. So I find that the support divisions and the combined arms make for a, they're also cheaper to build in terms of IC. This division is, I think, a little bit cheaper to build in terms of IC than one with 2 armor brigades, or even 2 motorized brigades. Let's see. Curious. Oh, maybe not. No, the motorized is cheaper than the tank destroyer, I guess. But it doesn't matter. I like this division. I like the combined arms. It's very versatile. If anything, you would remove the tank destroyer and replace it with something. You could also remove the armored car, but you know, I like the tank destroyer, especially if you're not building heavy armor. Anyway, enough about that. Let's put them in the queue. And we'll probably build another full core of motorized infantry. We got to just churn out units at this point. For I've been delaying doing it because I don't want our officer ratio to plummet. But at this point, the only thing holding us back in Europe is just our army. We don't have much of an army, and so it's time to just use that American lend-lease and churn out high quality units. All right, we just wiped out and circled a handful of Italian divisions. I'm gonna strategically wait. No, I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna move these guys there. I am going to send an infantry corps to Messina to hold the strait while we prepare for our next invasion. Okay. And as soon as that arrives, I will... Okay, let's also take the Gurkhas, load them into the transport group. We're going to deploy them in Catania. We'll just rebase. Oh, I could have hit reserve. Whoops. Not a big deal. Okay. Well, that's nice. We actually brought the landing craft, so that's perfect. Let's take this Marine, join up with the Marine Corps over here. I'm doing it from there because this this naval base is higher level, so I would rather have the main invasion force based there. What else do we need? We are also going to need to... These guys are ready to go. So let's send the 2nd Interceptor and 1st Tactical Air Force to Palermo on reserve. Really need this on reserve. Okay. These guys can do air superiority, where we're going to be doing our paratroop air assault or whatever it's called. Passive, yep. Blah blah blah. Perfect. We need to now set up air defense over the central Mediterranean. Air intercepts, passive. These provinces, and then the port provinces. So we're fending off naval strikes and port strikes. I'm actually going to preemptively set them up on these ports here so that I don't have to go back and change this afterwards. We might, we're essentially just preparing to have complete air control over this whole area of the Mediterranean. Air intercepts, I think that's good. I don't think I'm, oh, there's a port there, but we can't get to it. Okay. That looks good to me. Something is done. Oh yeah, we're getting a second landing craft squadron. Probably send that to the Pacific. It's always good to have some transport spread around the empire. In case we get invaded, like, you know, Italy comes and grabs this or something, or, you know, Japan comes and, like, is somehow here or something. Like, it's good to have just spare Marines and spare landing craft. Okay, what's going on here, buddy? You're going to be there on the 14th of June. Okay, good. We're pretty much ready to go here. These guys are already loaded up. You gotta be careful with these. If you put Gurkhas or paratroopers in the planes and you forget about them, they will slowly deorg and lose strength. Because they'll starve in their planes. It's kind of silly, but it does happen. Airborne assaults. Airborne assaults take they take about a week to prepare when you issue the order. From when you issue the order to when it actually happens. I'm going to set it to daytime. So there's no point in doing a nighttime paradrop. That seems dangerous. Let's set up. We've got air cover now, so let's send these guys here. And we're just waiting for this guy is going to arrive in a few hours. There we go, he's there. These guys are all ready to go. See, we have perfect org. Pretty much. Slim's getting lots of experience, which I love. Okay, now. Okay. I'm just going to move this transport squadron there. As soon as we create this beachhead, it's going to be very important for us to get armor and infantry landed here, and you'll see why as it happens. Submarines are getting pretty battered at this point. Human wave is done. One thing I want to put down further down the queue, this is just not necessary. I'm keeping these in the queue because, you know, might as well, but we should not be pumping 70 IC or 80 IC or whatever into, well, I guess it's more like 40 or 50 IC, but we shouldn't be pumping all that IC into strategic bombers. It's not necessary. Money for crude. You can see I haven't used mine a lot, partly just because I forget. Oh, shit. I forget. And then I also forget that I launched paratroopers. Okay. We need to land here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take these 3 provinces right away. It's really important. We are kind of in a risky spot right now because these guys will run out of supply quite quickly. That's good. No. There we go. That should help. Make sure we actually take Taranto. Normally you don't do these head-on assaults. If you're fighting a more formidable enemy, you really should land on either side, land in the empty provinces. That's why intelligence is so important. I mean, look, we have full view. We even know what type of division these are. Normally you just see the HQs and stuff. Like, we have very, very good intelligence in southern Italy. So that's awesome. In fact, I've got all those radars in the queue. I could fucking plant a radar. I think I was going to plant a radar up here, and then we'll have northern... we'll have intelligence on northern Italy. So what are you doing all the way over there? What a mess. Anyway. That's going well. As soon as we take the port, it'll be time to... send... send up the armor and everything. Yeah, see, we're running out of supply right away. We will run out of supply very, very quickly. I'm going to try and move these before they run out of supply. We'll see if it actually works. Just take a couple. Get those Gurkhas on the path. Losing a few convoys, probably a new batch of German armor, or German subs. Not worried about it, I've got a few in the queue. Alright, that's done. Perfect. So we now have, pretty soon we'll have a supply being delivered there. If we don't, I will manually do it. Gotta be a bit careful when you're playing as the UK to make sure that the supply, there you go. See, we're getting supply here. Okay, now, right away, first of all, get these out of harm's way. Right away, we need to send, I would like to send all of the cores and something like that. Yep, we can fit all of that into one port. That's actually perfect. Look at that. I'm going to use the transport command so that if I use rebase, it'll start drawing supply from that undersupplied province. Alright, I'm going to get rid of this because we've done most of it. We're just heading up to that province, basically. Alright, we are getting attacked here already. They're already starting to form a line against us. So at this point, it's push, push, push. We're trying to get up to this line before the entire Axis army is there. Okay, so on that note, let's move you there. These guys they're still under attack. We've only got one division there. Looking good to me. We have to get these guys as the landing craft there. Yeah, okay. Take him out. Let's get the armor. And we'll go grab the last couple of divisions. No, transport. Okay, we've got, at this point I'm just going to grab divisions and spread them around. No. Oh, the core, yeah, we can use the core. Okay, let's attack there. 1, 2, 3. Let's attack there. Just keep moving. Push, push, push. Because the longer we take, the more we'll have to push. Okay, we're being attacked by 2 divisions. As soon as this battle is done. Okay. Okay, they've lost that battle. I'm going to leave the Gurkhas there for now. Armor hasn't arrived yet. Is the transport back here? No. Got to pay attention to this. We got to create a real chain of deployment here. Oops, no. I want to go in the transport and then transport. There we go. 12 divisions of infantry, 6 divisions of Marines, including the Corps, 5 divisions of Gurkhas, and 5 divisions of armor. That's pretty much the bare minimum we need for this operation, and that's what we've deployed. I don't want to buy crude oil from Romania. We're still influencing Romania to get them in the Allies, which is kind of cool. Move. Airbase in Singapore. We've already won battles. We need... move this one there. You guys keep going down. I really need to keep these ones moving. Okay, we've got armor there. That's going to be a bit tricky. What I'm going to do instead is take a single armor division and move it down here. And I'm actually going to move you back there. Or there. Yeah. Perfect. Hold off until the armor actually arrives. That's Italian light armor. I don't want to waste... The thing about Gurkhas and Marines is that they tend to do a lot of heavy fighting in these operations, and if you use them callously, you'll end up with all these really fancy specialized units that are, in no shape to continue fighting, basically. No, 1 division of armor here, 3 divisions of armor there, the rest of the infantry. That Royal Marine Division. Let's move them over here. Okay. Just pushing relentlessly. I should be sending these all in at once. Yeah, okay. There we go. I need this armor to arrive. Thank you. Take that Gurkha, move it there. This guy can go there. And the armor can attack. Yeah, it's attacking. Good. Yep, very quickly going to be... We got to get down here as fast as possible. Get those Gurkhas back up where they're needed. As soon as the armor arrives... We've got one armor division coming here? Not ideal. Could be nice to have two, but whatever. Okay, the armor's arrived up at top here. Terrain map. Terrain map is essential. This is why this is one of the things I love the most about playing as the UK, is that this part of the campaign really plays to the UK's strengths. Okay, one thing I'm forgetting to do, and it's a bad situation, is I'm forgetting to use my Air Force. So you... Army Group Italy. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Okay. So I'm actually just going to use this one. I'm just going to cover off. You're not very well positioned. You need to be based out of Toronto. Let's do it. Can we? No. Reserve there. Take the Gurkhas, or the Gurkha planes, and move them back to there. Tactical bombers can stay where they are for now. And we can just cancel that reserve order. You can move up here. Reserve. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Let's use the air intercept using targeting a region. And we're going to just set up something like this. What's that? That's Napoli? Yeah, let's not go quite that far up. Air intercept passive. Okay. Now that we've got the interceptor set up, we can do some interdiction. Interdiction. Passive. Okay. Might as well. It's not strictly necessary, but, you know, it's always good to actually use Air Force. It's just a big bonus. At the very least, you need to defend your troops from ground attacks. Make sure that everyone's actually moving. Anybody falling behind? No. Okay. These guys need to be moved. Just go there. Okay, we should be getting some armor in this province soon, hopefully. Okay, we're probably getting ahead of ourselves up here. Let's move this forward. I'm gonna just attack there. I'm also gonna attack there. Not the ideal use of those Gurkhas, but again, you can see how much they're moving down here. You know, dozens and dozens of divisions, and very soon they're not going to be Italian divisions, they're going to be German divisions, so really a good idea to keep things moving here. Let's make sure that let's move this guy here. In fact, let's just move him straight up here. Do we have air cover there? We do. Yeah, okay. We do not have air cover here. Ooh, that's nasty. I don't think that's worth it, to be honest. I don't think it's worth the shore bombardment to take all this, take all these hits. Let's move them back. Yeah. We've only got a few more provinces to take here anyway. Yeah. If we need to push more later, we'll do that. Okay, you attack there. Keep moving. Let's get all the way there. Okay, let's attack there. Move them up there. Looks good. Just gotta keep everyone moving here. Take a look at air cover. Make sure nothing is being badly damaged. Looks like we've basically got solid air superiority over the south of Italy. Armor is moving ahead quickly. What are you doing there? Not a big deal. Generally, we don't want to be using armor in. Okay, we've got a bunch of these guys here. I think I'm missing. Did I? Oh, I never went and got those guys. Okay, that's why I'm missing guys. Okay, that's fine. Not a big deal. We need to take the transport fleet and rebase it there. This infantry corps, I didn't really need them for this operation, but they're gonna replace some of the more specialized forces so that they can be deployed everywhere elsewhere, as I've said. All right, you guys can just attack here. That's fine. This is unguarded. Let's see if we can grab it quickly. Gotta get to Naples. Yeah, I want those to go straight to Naples. You wait until they get there, and then attack there, attack there. Oh, they're defending, okay. Okay. I'll check on techs after. I do have to, but what's going on here? Move these guys forward. It's all about speed. And there's a reason why I deployed. My infantry divisions that I didn't upgrade to motorized here. You can see that we don't have to go very far, but we're going to be doing a very similar version of this in Northwest Europe. Just like the Germans overwhelmed Poland and France in the early war using speed, we need to do the same thing. We have so much IC and so much fuel. We have no shortage of resources that we can just use those motorized divisions, and Germany can't afford to do that. Not unless you're very, very careful about what you take in terms of territory and how you manage your resources when it counts. Alright, these guys are fine. Just want to be a little bit cautious not to overextend. But it's mostly a matter of waiting till the infantry catches up. Let's do that. Not thrilled about using that armor there, but that's okay. Yeah, we've pretty much. We could try and encircle. Some stuff here, but it's unlikely we'll succeed. You never know. You never know. Also, I want to be really careful not to have any of our stuff get encircled, right? Right. So you guys go there. I will reorganize this whole front once everyone's arrived at their destinations. Once we've established this line, is what I'm trying to say. I will reorganize the front. Looks like we may actually encircle those guys. Depends who arrives first, I think. It's been a very. Yeah. See, they're escaping. That's fine. I'm not. The goal here is not to do some kind of dramatic encirclement. It's really just to establish a second front. Yeah, okay, we're fine. Lots of Bulgarian troops down here. Looks like we're facing the brunt of the Bulgarian army. Italy is probably running out of... I wonder how much manpower they have. Italy. 746. They still have a fair amount of manpower. But, Not nearly as much as we do. We will surpass Germany in manpower. We will do that. We will do so quite remarkably quickly. Not ideal. I'm not using the ideal unit types to attack here, but not a big deal. They basically are out of org. Give me some Marines to do this river crossing here. Another one there. Yeah, let's just do this. Not ideal to attack with armor, but we'll do it. Take these guys, move them up there instead. And Naples will fall very shortly. These guys have orders. Yeah, okay, good. Take these guys, move them there. This guy can go here. At this point, yep, we're almost there. I think I started this when I loaded it up. We were in like in April, so oh, I forgot about this. That's stupid. Oh, and then I abandoned Messina. Ugh. Rookie mistake. Okay, let's see if we can get to that strait on time, and let's close this up. That's hilarious. Not a big deal. I can grab a single Marine division and go and deal with that after if we want, but it's kind of stupid, to be honest. They're also going to have a hard time getting supply, to be honest. Let's just block that strait. We have to put those fleets back on AI control very soon, once we've established this front. We got one more province to take, and that'll be that. So that's, like I said, it's all about speed. Very soon, yeah, see, we're starting to see German divisions come down here. Obviously, the Germans are pretty preoccupied in Russia right now. But we've taken advantage of that and very quickly opened up a second front. We're also going to be getting all sorts of IC and resources from here. Not that we need it, but it never hurts. We're everything we take away from the Axis, even if we're not really using it, or even if we don't need it. I mean, everything we take away from the Axis, the Axis just cannot afford to have shortages and to lose ground. I mean, at the end of the day, it was a bad idea, you know, the whole Axis thing. Not only from a human point of view, but also from a tactical military point of view. It was not going to succeed. Okay. I am going to do a couple things here quickly. I want to take the army group, just cover off those provinces. I often use HQs to go and clean up little messes like this. Let's take the other HQs and just do that. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. How are you doing? Yeah, that's good. Looks good to me. As soon as I take that province, I'm going to clean up techs. And then I will reorganize the whole front, which I may do off screen. Or at least issue the orders off screen, we'll see. We will see. I'm going to be camping one infantry corps in each province, and then I'll be spreading some armor around as well, and then that'll allow me to withdraw the Marines and to redeploy them, maybe in the Pacific. It would be nice to have an extra Marine Corps in the Pacific. Are we winning this? Yes, we are. Good. I really, really hope that they're not able to retreat across the strait. It's really stupid to abandon that. Just creating work for myself. Okay, it's looking pretty good. let's just take these cores and order them where they belong. Second Infantry Corps. You go there. Third Infantry Corps. There. Cool. Interesting. It's as though I already... Second Infantry Corps. Wow, it's as though I already planned that out. Which I did not. Cool. And then I think what we'll do is we will take the Gurkha Corps. Oh, fuck. Okay, that's fine. We shattered those ones. And then we'll take the Marine Corps and send them there. And that will allow us to redeploy them elsewhere. Probably a good idea at this point to send... No. Reserve to send the Interceptor Squadron to the closest airbase. Keep in mind when you are fighting air battles that distance matters, so if you look at their range, it's this. If they are fighting over here, they get penalties. If they're fighting right here, right near the airbase, they don't get penalties. So let's set that up again. Air intercept looks good to me. Passive, go. And we need to make sure that we are protecting all these naval bases. Looks good. Looks like we're not missing any naval bases, so that if our fleets decide to dock at those naval bases, we will not get bombs. Now the Armor Corps. Let's take a look at the terrain here. Armor Corps really needs to be split. Let's do something like, do this, 1, 2, 3, and then 1 there, or 2 there, maybe 3 here. They will try and attack us probably, but what's going on here? That's fine. We'll catch them soon. Good. Loving it. Right. Well, we have established a line in Italy. We have air command pretty much everywhere we need it. They're not going to be bombing us down here. But yeah, we've got pretty much air superiority covering this entire area, which is a big deal. You can see that we're going to be doing the same thing here. We're just going to be trying to close this gap at some point. We'll be invading here, and we'll be pushing probably here and then here again, and you know. But yeah, we've established a second front. We will very quickly, if we look at Italy, national unity 71%. Where do I get their surrender? I wonder if I set a war goal for Italy. No. Okay, let's conquer. I'm gonna set a war goal for Italy. We're not gonna conquer them soon though. We're gonna hold off. It's their surrender. Yes, there we go. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Surrender progress 45.3%. So they are already. We will be able to very quickly force Italy to surrender when the time comes. I do not want to waste resources pushing through these mountains right now until I've established a front here, because the forces that we would use to do that we need to have in the Pacific to keep Japan under wraps, and we also need to have those forces available to start building up an army here and open yet another front. This is where the big push is going to happen. You can see here, if we conquer Italy, we don't get much of a reward. The reward for conquering Italy is, oh great, you can march through the Alps, right? Or you can go this long snaky route all the way around here, and like that's not going to help us either. We can move much quicker in the northwest of Europe than we can down here, but we needed to establish complete domination over the Mediterranean and get rid of these air bases and ports and everything. And I think we've done that. So I just want to take a quick look at tech. I'll do this on screen because you know, I think you guys are interested in seeing what techs I choose. That should come off. Yeah, all the 42 techs need to come off for the time being. We will probably put some 42 techs on, but let's just make sure we're not getting ahead of ourselves. This is all fine. This is all fine. Kind of catching up on some of those techs. Let's take a look here. Why don't we put the armored car ones in just for kicks? We can always take them off later if we find that this can come off. If we find that we are falling behind on other more important things. Everything looks good. I decided not to do these. Tempting for the night attack alone, to be honest. Yeah. Let's put them in. We'll see. We'll see if we have. This is not worth it. Not for now, anyway. Okay. Let's take a look at 42 text. This one takes forever, so let's just throw it up there. Anything else in industry that I want to do ahead of time? Not really, to be honest. Not really. Maybe the radar tech. Put that in there right now. Nothing else. I'm not too worried about those, although I will. Let's see here. Nothing I want to research ahead of time there or there. This could never. This won't hurt. Let's get it ahead of time. These two I'll just put in the queue right away so I don't forget. And I think that's about it. I don't think we're missing any techs in the queue. Most of these should be finished by the end of the year. We've still got lots of spies. Officer ratio is perfect. We can do that. It will once we start. Once the rest of our army starts coming out, we will need to put more into officers, but we should have a couple years worth of research before we need to do that. And I think that's it. So everything's looking good. Next episodes, we will probably be back in a sort of building phase. I'll be monitoring this front closely. We will also probably Japan will declare war next episode, so that's going to open up a whole new different kind of warfare. The kind of Pacific island hopping warfare, and you know, the jungle fighting and all that. So that's going to be a very exciting chapter. That's what I love playing That's what I love about playing the UK is you fight in the jungles, you fight in the desert, you fight them on the beaches, and all that Winston Churchill bullshit. And yeah, so we finally got some serious land action. But if you enjoy these videos, please like the video, subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you next time. Ciao.